this information that they're publicising on their premises.
It's not even you that's been here.
Number one,
Yeah, it's not even.
how have they got that information?
Very true, yeah.
It's data that they've obtained somehow.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm back again with another video. I just can't stay away.
Stop it. Get some help.
Thanks, Michael. My video exposing Marti Blagborough for what he is, titled Marti Blagborough is a Nutjob, was restored by YouTube a week or two ago. If you haven't already seen it, a link is in the description. I recommend you watch that first before you continue watching this one, or what I have to say may not make sense. Marti Blagborough is not my favourite topic, but there are some further points I'd like to raise. You're now watching again footage of the gang audit of IPB in Washington in the northeast of England. When I put the last video up, it was pointed out that the gang had found posters on the inside of a building.
You got them on the inside as well? You've got them on the inside as well, DJ.
There's the proof then.
Look, that's it. That proves it's something from inside that building. Oh, really, I have to blur that back out again now.
It's on the
But yeah.
recording it, but it's on the inside.
Absolutely ridiculous. Quick round this, we might try and get inside.
Notice again it's Marty who alerts DJ Audits to the poster on the inside of the building, albeit that it looks like another auditor sees it first, but if you notice, Marty seems to know what it is he's seen.
Inside. Take him down. I won't push him away past the female. Female did open the door, but wasn't
They've obviously found some more posters on the inside of the building.
away past the female.
Now, this information that they're publicising on their premises.
It's not even you that's been here.
Number one,
Yeah, it's not even.
how have they got that information?
Very true, yeah.
It's data that they've obtained somehow.
Yeah.
I think I can help you with that, DJ Audits.
Somehow.
Yeah.
Have they protected that data that they've handled? Certainly not.
The posters can be taken down. Well, the posters can be taken down. Oh, just open the door then.
You're talking shit.
Please forgive the bad language. My friend Marty, he gets upset sometimes. Marty here is abusing an innocent person who is in the building for a therapy session. In case that sounds far-fetched, they later bump into this same person as he leaves the premises, and they eventually accept that he was telling the truth and he's just an entirely innocent individual with no connection to IPB who is there to meet some sort of therapist.
You're lying.
Yeah, I think he might be lying.
He's lying. You're lying out of that big fat back end of yours.
My friend Marty, he's such a charmer. He's not a nut job at all, you know. He's perfectly sane and reasonable. I mean, who doesn't trespass on business premises and shout abuse at people in reception? We've all been there.
Take these posters down.
You said that it's here for a therapy session, guys.
Open the door then.
In a pipe bending.
Because they're breaking the law. We're going to keep coming until these are taken down.
There you can hear the Gwent auditor threatening to harass this business further. What these auditors are doing here is committing harassment of this company, contrary to Section 1A of the Protection from Harassment Act 1997, which only requires one event of harassment because the conduct is directed at multiple persons. And also, they're committing aggravated trespass contrary to Section 68 of the Criminal Justice and Public Order Act 1994, as it looks like they forced this business to go into lockdown. And arguably in threatening the innocent man in reception, Marti Blagborough commits an offence of disorderly behaviour likely to cause harassment, alarm and distress, contrary to Section 5 of the Public Order Act 1986. I think we should also take a look at Section 6 of the Criminal Law Act 1977. Subsection 1 says that it is an offence for a person to threaten violence for the purpose of securing entry to premises. It seems to me that this probably doesn't apply in this case because, to be fair, they're not strictly threatening violence. Possibly a prosecutor could interpret this broadly and say that violence is implied, but a threat of violence is implied, but I don't think the offence strictly applies here. Nevertheless, subsection 1 of section 6 of the Criminal Law Act 1977, that offence is something that we should bear in mind for the future, because it seems to me that there are occasions when the auditors do sail close to the wind and act in a way that could be construed as threatening to occupiers of premises.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Open the door for me then.
Full of crap.
Why? Because they're breaking the law. Yeah, so I'm just going to remove the poster.
This is interesting one, isn't
Absolutely
it?
mental, isn't it?
So what they've done, they've put something that we wouldn't want to be filmed to obstruct our filming.
Yeah, pretty much. Luckily, we have a thing called a blur tool.
Yeah, hassle though, isn't
It
it?
is, it's a bloody nightmare, isn't it? But it is what it is. And it's starting to rain now, lovely.
So what they've done, they've placed information on the outside of the building, which obviously we wouldn't want to publish.
The information on the poster is a photograph of DJ Audits and his wife and the business address of DJ Audits.
Which is an attempt really to restrict our lawful activity of filming the place.
Your activity in filming the place is not lawful. You are trespassing and moreover committing aggravated trespass, and some of you are committing harassment and behaving in a disorderly manner. In that regard, another point that should be noted is that DJ Audits, at least, seem to think that the road leading to the IPB premises was publicly adopted. When later that day the gate is shut to them, he complains that the company have blocked a public highway.
So, we now have a locked padlock, which is restricting access down a council adopted road.
It's not certain that the road is council adopted. The road in question is part of Sedling Road, postcode NE38 November Echo 38 9BZ 9 Bravo Zebra. If we look at the National Street Gazetteer entry for Sedling Road, which I linked to in the description, we can see that it is stated to be publicly adopted. But that does not always mean that all of the road is a public highway. That record is for general guidance, albeit the information is submitted by local authorities, and it may be inaccurate in matters of detail. In cases such as this, the only reliable way of finding out whether it is publicly adopted, whether that part of the road is publicly adopted, would be to ask the local highways authority to confirm the position, and I imagine they would have to consult with their legal department and perhaps conduct a site visit. One reason I'm cautious about this is that if you look at the relevant part of Sedling Road on Google Street View, this is what you see. There's clearly a gate, and it looks like that part of the road is not being maintained in the same way as the rest of Sedling Road. It does look like that part of Sedling Road may be a private road. But even if it is a public highway, the auditors were still trespassing as soon as they entered the premises of IPB, where they had no proper purpose and were clearly not welcome and not wanted. Let's go back now to the original question that DJ Audits asked.
This information that they're publicising on their premises,
It's not even you that's been here.
number one,
Yeah, it's not even.
how have they got that information?
Very true, yeah.
It's data that they've obtained somehow.
Yeah.
Let's answer that for him. The poster was behind the glass. That means either Marty sent the posters to them ahead of that day, or left the posters there earlier that day, and IPB have found them and put them round the inside of the building for some reason, or Marty put some through their letterbox or something, and they've put the poster up. Probably they did this because Marty has told them that DJ Audits will be visiting that day. In case anybody is still not convinced that Marti Blagborough was the culprit, let me provide you with a bit more evidence that involves a different incident. The video you're now watching is of Marti Blagborough and some of his associates on the trail of some police officer who was convicted of an offence of cruelty to a dog. I don't know all the details. Obviously, I can't condone that sort of behaviour on the part of the police officer, but he was caught and punished by the courts, and I assume he was also disciplined by the force he worked for. Marti Blagborough for some reason took up this case even though the criminal justice system had dealt with it, and Marty decided to go to the police officer's house, and here's what happened.
So it's quite shocking that this person is still actively in duty. However, there is a current investigation ongoing via the Independent Police Complaints Commission / the Professional Standards Department, who are currently investigating his actions. I assume that they would take some kind of disciplinary action, as when you are a member of a serving police force, even your actions at home are still come into play. So at all times you are always basically liable, your actions are monitored. But as promised, guys, I wasn't joking, we will come to your house. So do we post it through his door or what?
Notice the piece of paper he's got there. It's a photo of a police officer with some information about him underneath. Marty has put that together.
Yeah, no, maybe. I don't really think it should be harassment, but we'll see from there. What's that you've got in your hand there, Mr. Sherlock?
This is just a little reminder of what this cunt did to his fucking dog.
Oh, is it? Is that the news article?
I think this is his beamer as well, mate, so I'm just going to put that there like that. He'll probably see it anyway. 1 minute, let's get his face there.
Make sure his face is showing.
He'll see it.
So guys, there you go. We promised you some Class A journalism today, and we have brought it to you in style.
I don't think that's journalism, but the point is to note what you just saw Marti Blagborough and the person with him do. Think about the similarity between that and the posters found at IPB. Marty's helper leaves a poster on the bonnet of the policeman's car. It's essentially the same modus operandi. A shaming poster, designed to intimidate and humiliate someone. The next question is, did Marti Blagborough commit an offence by passing the information about DJ Audits to IPB? The first point to make is that Marti Blagborough is a data controller. He hasn't bothered to register as a data controller with the Information Commissioner's Office, so he is in breach of the regulations, specifically Regulation 2 of the Data Protection, Information and Charges Regulations 2018, for which he could be fined. Contrary to what he seems to think, he is fully subject to the data protection requirements contained in the UK GDPR and the Data Protection Act 2018. It's important to acknowledge that all of the information contained in the posters is publicly available, and if Marty was someone working against auditors and his actions were public-spirited, potentially his disclosure of the information to IPB and even encouraging them to put the information in public on posters could have a lawful basis on the basis that it was for crime prevention purposes. But obviously his actions were not with that intention in mind. He intended to harass DJ Audits, and he used personal data under his control to do so. For this, DJ Audits could bring an action against Marti Blagborough under the civil wrong of misuse of private information and seek damages. Furthermore, by doing so, Marty committed an offence of harassment under Section 1A of the Protection from Harassment Act 1997, which only requires one event of harassment where the conduct is directed at two persons, in this case DJ Audits and his wife. Did the company, IPB, do anything wrong? They too are subject to the requirements of data protection, but their case is different. They didn't ask for these people to trespass on their premises and had the right to take steps to deter them. This could include publishing their names and images, which, after all, were given to the company by Marti Blagborough and are public information in any case. Any publication in this manner arguably could be considered a lawful purpose, as it is for site security and the prevention of crime. As I mentioned in a previous video, a company does have privacy rights under Article 8 of the Human Rights Act. It's just a matter of interpreting those rights according to the circumstances of a company as opposed to a natural person. Similarly, the owners and employees of the company have a right of privacy. I think it boils down to a matter of balancing the privacy rights of DJ Audits and his wife on the one hand and those of the company on the other. DJ Audits was unwelcome at the company and had no purpose in being there. Instead, he was trespassing. He took part in the harassment of the company. His wife may not be an innocent party in all this, as she must be aware of his activities and therefore to an extent is condoning them. It's hard to feel any sympathy for DJ Audits or his wife, and I doubt that a court would. A court may decide that, given the nature of his activities, DJ Audits should have expected his face and name to be shared publicly, and that of his wife. It's also difficult to see how the company could be harassing DJ Audits or his wife, given that it is DJ Audits who is trespassing on their premises. In the end, I'm left with the thought that if DJ Audits cares this much for his own privacy, why doesn't he respect the privacy of others? Although I think Marti Blagborough is a nutjob, at least in this sense, he does practice what he preaches. He doesn't pretend that he should somehow be able to hide his face when he's the one sticking his camera in other people's faces and making a nuisance of himself.